I am not a hippie. I might wear a bandana. I might live in the most natural environment as I can, as simple as I can. I don't consider myself a hippie at all. Others do. And it's no different than when people were on my camp page, and I would tell stories about walking after dark and running after animal predators that were after my birds. And I'm not scared of much, folks. I'm a country folk, and not really anything bothers me at all. And so they just started calling me badass. Well, I didn't know that was a good term. I didn't know that was a term of endearment. It was a compliment. So I'm like, badass. I'm not a badass. I mean, do I walk around with a scowl on my face? I did not get the term at all. So after a few hundred times of being called badass by a few people, I finally Googled it. So I Googled badass, and I'm like, it is a compliment. It is. So I could have put badass hippie chick. Badass hippie chick? That sounds all right to me. All right. So anyway, I am. See that hole right there? I don't know if you can see that hole. There's a hole right there in the bottom of that. You do not want to toss these on the ground. Okay? You just don't want to do that. It's no longer holds water, folks. But it does haul grain, and now it's turned into my grain bucket. So we don't throw anything away. And even if this becomes all cracked and brittle and whatever, there's a handle I can use on something. Okay, I get creative here. I don't throw anything away. So if you have these fortiflex made in the USA buckets, you can abuse them a little bit, but when it's like 20 below, you kind of toss it down a little bit. You don't do that. Don't do that, because you're going to be buying more, or you're going to now have a grain bucket. All right, so I love these little buckets. I have a lot of them. Buckets, I haven't forgotten you. I'm waiting for a day that it's not windy. Not windy, not windy, not windy. So this is my second video today, folks. And I might start doing that. I try to keep my videos about 10 minutes. Sometimes I fail miserably. Sometimes they're only going to be about 5 minutes. But if something comes to mind and I've got a minute, if I'm taking a break or whatever, I keep my tripod right here in the woodshed. So I just put my camera up there and step in front of it and talk. So whatever's on my mind, that could be a rant, that could be current events, that could be, that could be anything. So it's going to be a free-for-all, but I did put a shit hit the fan video up. It's a short one, folks. It's a short one. Okay, I did put that video up there because I was made aware of something over Russia and Ukraine that relates to what we've been talking about on here and an old video that I did. So I just threw that together real quickly over a cup of coffee and put that up. They're not all going to be shit hit the fan. There's quite a bit of interest in prepping and shit hit the fan. So I'm going to continue doing that, but I'm going to do homesteading stuff as well. And if I can ever get up into my garden, there's going to be a lot of videos on how I garden, and I have a pretty good garden, folks. So if you go down into my playlist, there's going to be a light and fluffy video that's going to be very short. And that's going to have pictures of my garden in it. So if you want to see how successful I can be in my garden, and I try to be, go way down. I think it's called the 10 mile minute or something like that. So go down there and find that. and you'll see that I do know what I'm talking about. I do know how to grow food, and how close I dare to crowd certain plants, and why it doesn't matter to me if I put certain plants with certain plants. I don't follow the companion plant. I don't know, a lot of people do, and I could probably benefit from that. But I don't follow the companion planting. I just throw things in where I have room at the time that I want to plant it, and I've had awful good success. And I attribute that to my compost system. And I know I keep coming back to the compost system, folks, but I can tell you the compost that I make here and that I gave you the formula for, and how to work the compost, it really does work, folks. Now, the only thing I wouldn't use compost on, my compost that I make, because it has chicken manure in it, chicken litter, chicken coop litter, are potatoes. Okay, potatoes tend to get a little scabby, and scabby potatoes are good. They're not pretty. They don't have to be pretty, but scabby potatoes don't tend to last in storage very long. So I grow them in sawdust, and there's a way to grow potatoes in sawdust that's going to get you a large yield. And yes, you can grow in sawdust. They told me I couldn't. It took me 3 years to figure out a way that I could grow in sawdust. We got it down. We got it down, people. We got it down. So I'll share that method too. If you've got a lot of sawdust and you don't know what to do with it, there's a lot of applications that I use with sawdust. I have a whole bunch of free sawdust up the road. Okay, thank you for joining. Please like and subscribe if you would like. Share. I don't know what there is to share on this one, but I don't think I gave much information other than I'm going to continue to be me. And some of you have grown to like that. Some of you are undecided, I have figured out. But I'm going to say what's on my mind, and I'm going to be who I am, and I'm not going to put on any airs, and I'm not going to be... I'm just not going to be anybody that I'm not. So what you see is what you get. Thank you so much. Thank you. Come again.